Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Mike and this is Meet Mike. Smash that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you're already subscribed, thanks for coming back. Thanks for tuning in. Today, Saturday, February 20th, 2021. I found this article on CBS Action News, Channel 6, out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So we're going to go through this article as quickly as I can. It hit the nail right on the head on a lot of key points as far as what is inside of the package and what to expect from it when it finally kicks out. They're saying, fingers crossed, beginning of March, which is not very long from now. I think 9 days from now, we could start seeing stimulus payments going out. They are saying worst case scenario mid-March, which would totally suck because Joe Biden will have been in office month and a half by then, 2 months by then. Come on, man, get the money out. Americans need it. American people need that money. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to get through this article as quickly as possible for you guys and get you updated and on track. Okay, here's what's in the House Democrat stimulus package relief plan, including direct payments worth up to $1,400 per person. Washington. A key House committee on Friday released Democrats' massive coronavirus relief package, pulling together President Joe Biden's stimulus proposal into a 591-page bill, you guys. That's a big bill. That's a buck, okay? And there's a lot of stuff in there that, to me and you, would not make sense, probably most of it. The House Budget Committee is expected to consider the legislation, which is based off of measures approved by at least 9 committees on Monday. Most of them, but not all, adhere closely to what Biden outlined in his $1.9 trillion relief proposal last month. This feels like a lot longer than last month, but if we have to wait till March 15th, it's definitely going to be a month and a half, 2 months. Come on now, 2 months by then. The full House may pass the legislation as soon as next week, but it could face hurdles in the Senate where Democrats can't afford to lose a single member of their party thanks to the 50-50 split in the chamber. Already, 2 Democrats, Senators Kristen Sinema of Arizona and Joe Mnuchin of West Virginia, sorry if I pronounced your names wrong, guys, have voiced opposition to one element of the plan, raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. Time is of the essence. The American people need the money. It's definitely of the essence. An estimated 11.4 million workers will lose their unemployment benefits beginning mid-March and mid-April unless Congress passes its next coronavirus relief package in the coming weeks, a recent study by the Century Foundation found. Here's what's in the bill. The House bill would provide direct payments worth up to $1,400 per person. A family of 4 could receive up to $5,600. So that'd be a pretty good payment for a family of 4. Individuals earning less than $75,000 a year and married couples earning less than $150,000 a year would be sent the full amount as deserved. And let me tell you, a lot of people above that threshold need that money too. So a lot of businesses are drowning. A lot of small businesses are done. People are homeless. So let's get that money out there, Joe Biden. But not everyone who received a previous stimulus check would be eligible for this round. The payments would phase out faster and completely cut off individuals earning more than $100,000 and families earning more than $200,000. And to small fries like me and most people, that sounds like a lot of money, but that $100,000, $200,000 isn't really a lot of money. So, and I'm not in there controlling and making decisions, but to me, come on, Joe Biden. Kick out those bucks, man. The payment will be calculated based off of either 2019 or 2020 income. Unlike the previous 2 rounds, adult dependents would be eligible for the payments. Okay? So, that's good news. Adult dependents will be eligible, as they should be. So, unemployment assistance. The House bill would extend 2 key pandemic unemployment programs through August 29th. It would also increase the federal weekly boost to $400 from the current $300 and continue it for the same time period. It would lengthen the duration of the pandemic unemployment assistance program to up to 74 weeks from 50 weeks, and the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program to up to 48 weeks from 24 weeks. The former provides benefits to freelancers, gig workers, independent contracts, and certain people affected by the pandemic, while the latter increases the duration of payments for those in the traditional state of unemployment system. The President's plan had called for continuing the benefits through the end of September. Out-of-work Americans would start running out of pandemic unemployment assistance and pandemic emergency unemployment compensation benefits in mid-March, when provisions in December's $900 billion relief package begin phasing out. The $300 enhancement also ends in mid-March. Okay, so nutrition assistance. The House plan would extend the 15% increase in food stamp benefits through September instead of having it expire at the end of June. So that's fantastic news for SNAP recipients. You're going to get your food stamps, okay? We need food. Get those stamps out there. It also contains $880 million for the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for women, infants, and children, known as WIC, to help increase participation and temporarily improve benefits, among other measures. Biden called for investing $3 billion in the program, which is fantastic news. The kids need their WIC. So, and it would allow states to continue the pandemic EBT, which provides families whose children's schools are closed with funding to replace free and reduced price meals the kids would have received through the summer. Awesome news for the kids right there. If you guys are following, House aid legislation would send roughly $19.1 billion to state and local governments to help low-income households cover back rent, rent assistance, and utility bills. So that's fantastic. Get those electricity bills paid, get those heat bills paid. The whole U.S. is under a freeze right now, covered in snow basically. About $10 billion would be authorized to help struggling homeowners pay their mortgages, utilities, and property taxes. Thank God, because a lot of people are losing their homes. A lot of people have been foreclosed on because of this. So that's great news. The package sounds gigantic, which it is. $1.9 trillion, almost $2 trillion relief plan, but Americans need it. Let's get that out there. It will provide $5 billion to help states and localities assist those at risk of experiencing homelessness as well. So that's good news. Help some homeless people. Tax credits for families and workers. The legislation beefs up tax credits for families of certain low-income workers for 2021. In an effort to combat poverty, it would expand the child tax credit to $3,600 for children under 6 and $3,000 for children under 18. The credit would also become fully refundable, so more low-income parents could take advantage of it. Plus, families could receive payments monthly rather than a lump sum once a year, which would make it easier for them to pay the bills. That's a good idea. Give it to them monthly, okay? And keep dropping these big giant checks on people after they've been locked down for months and expect them to, not want to go out and spend a little bit. I think that maybe that's a good idea. Give us the $1,400 and then monthly until this thing's over. The bill also enhances the earned income tax credit for workers without children by nearly tripling the maximum credit and extending eligibility to more people. The minimum age to claim the childless credit would be reduced to 19 from 25, and the upper age limit would be eliminated. This would be the largest expansion to earned income tax credits since 2009, when Barack Obama was in office. And there was another crisis, and other stimulus packages went out. Optional paid sick and family leave. Now, this is a good one for if you get sick and you need to be home with your family. Unlike Biden's proposal, the House bill would not reinstate mandatory paid leave and sick leave approved in a previous COVID relief package, but it does continue to provide tax credits to employers who voluntarily choose to offer the benefit through October 1st. So they're going to pay employers back if they cover it. Last year, Congress guaranteed many workers 2 weeks' pay if they contracted COVID or were quarantining. It also provided an additional 10 weeks of paid family leave to those who were staying home with kids, those whose schools were closed. Those benefits expired in December. Education and child care. The bill will provide nearly $130 billion to kindergarten through 12th schools to help students return to the bill will provide nearly $130 billion to K through 12 schools to help students return to the classroom. Schools will be allowed to use the money to update their ventilation systems, reduce class sizes to help implement social distancing, buy personal protective equipment, and hire more support staff. That's fantastic. Get the schools going. It would require that schools use at least 20% of the money to address learning loss by providing extended days or summer school, for example, which is much needed right now. My son was not failing this bad, and now a lot of parents are going through this. I've seen it on the news. Parents are protesting, I forget where, recently, that, A, B students are now F students because of this. The money is also intended to help prevent teacher layoffs next year when some states may be struggling to balance their budgets. The pot of the money will remain available through September 2023. The Democratic bill is in line with what Biden proposed, but calls for more than 6 times the amount of funding for K through 12 schools than a compromise plan offered by a small group of Republican senators. The House bill now includes nearly $40 billion for colleges. Institutions would be required to spend at least half of the money to provide emergency financial aid grants to students. That's fantastic. Help the students. Altogether, $170 billion would be authorized for K through 12 schools for higher education. Last year, Congress approved a total of $112 billion between 2 relief packages that went to K through 12 schools and colleges. The bill would also provide $39 billion to child care providers. The amount a provider receives will be based on operating expenses and is available to pay employees and rent, help families struggling to pay the cost, and purchase personal protective equipment and other supplies. Health insurance, subsidies, and Medicaid. The bill would make federal premium subsidies for Affordable Care Act policies more generous and would eliminate the maximum income cap for 2 years. Enrollees will pay no more than 8.5% of their income towards coverage, down from nearly 10% now. Also, those earning more than the current cap of 400% of the federal poverty level, about $151,000 for an individual and $104,000 for a family of 4 in 2021, would become eligible for help. So that's good. Those people are going to get some help. In addition, the legislation would bolster subsidies for lower income enrollees, eliminating their premiums completely, and would do the same for those collecting unemployment benefits in 2021. The bill would also provide assistance for those who want to remain on their employee health insurance plans through COBRA. These laid-off workers would pay only 15% of the premium through the end of September, though that can still prove to be costly. Vaccines and testing. The House bill provides $14 billion to research, development, distribute, administer, and strengthen confidence in the vaccine for COVID. It would also put $46 billion towards testing, contact tracing, and mitigation, including investing in laboratory capacity, community-based testing sites, and mobile testing units, particularly in medically underserved areas. It would also allocate $7.6 billion to hire 100,000 public health workers to support coronavirus response. The president's plan called for investing $20 billion in a national vaccination program. Minimum wage. The legislation would increase the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025 in stages. It would also guarantee that tipped workers, youth workers, and workers with disabilities are paid the full federal minimum wage. That's good news, guys. A lot of people aren't supporting this right now, but I think it should be $15 an hour because I haven't made $15 an hour in quite some time, but I remember making 10, I remember making 15, and you can't live on 10. You almost can't even live on 15. I think it needs to be $15 an hour minimum wage. You can't live on that. And I understand that, the McDonald's workers and the Wendy's workers don't have any experience, but at the same time, it's a living wage. You have to have a living wage, and you can't live on $8, $9 an hour. You can't do it. You can't pay rent, electric, gas, whatever, cell phone. You can't do it. So raise that minimum wage. The plan would raise the wages of 27 million workers according to the budget committee. Get that done. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today's update, Saturday, February 20th, 2021. Just wanted to do that real quick for you guys in case you've been wondering. Not a lot's changed. They're going back and forth, splitting hairs, counting pennies, throwing nickels at each other when the American people need help, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Joe Biden, what the heck is going on? Promised us money. I already feel swindled because his campaign, he promised $2,000, and then before Trump even left, Trump kicked out 600, and now Biden's in office and he's saying, oh, now it's 14 plus 6 is 2. So now I'm keeping my promise. So wasn't a complete lie, but almost misleading, his campaign. So I'm not happy with that, and it's almost 2 months in to his presidency, and there's still no stimulus for the American people, no help for us. So get that done. All right, guys, that's it for today's update. If you guys like this comment, smash the subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment. YouTube makes it really hard for new channels to get going. It's really helped me out. If you found value in this, throw some value back at me and smash that subscribe button, hit that like button. Stay tuned for more, guys. Thanks.